Hi, my name is Neil Herforth, and this is my final composition on should the use and production and use of GMOs be encouraged. This is based on a New York Times article called Learning to Love GMOs. Before we go into the ethical dilemma, let's define what GMOs, genetically modified organisms, are. They are any organism that have been created by transplanting one gene or transplanting genes from one organism to another. For example, transplanting a gene from an apple into a corn creates a GMO strain of corn. So why are they important? Well, with this technology, we can modify organisms to exhibit a variety of novel traits. For example, scuba rice is a genetically modified rice strain that can survive being submerged for up to 3 weeks. This is very attractive for farmers who have to deal with the heavy rain associated with the monsoon season. The second example is genetically modified tomatoes that produce the active ingredient in Parkinson's medication. Growing tomatoes is much cheaper than traditional pharmaceutical synthesis technique, so this could be an attractive alternative to these companies. Now that we've defined GMOs and their importance, let's move on to the factors that play in this ethical dilemma. Again, the ethical dilemma is should the production and use of GMOs be encouraged? The first factor involved is that the idea that GMOs are considered not natural. It seems wrong to many to produce and eat something that does not naturally occur in nature. Therefore, GMOs are seen as bad because they do not naturally occur. The second factor at play is big corporations. They already have a bad connotation in today's society, so it doesn't help GMOs that only big companies are producing and selling them on the market. Finally, government legislation is another important factor. In the US, GMO production and selling is heavily regulated by the FDA. Furthermore, these rules continue to grow more rigorous due to the active anti-GMO lobbying movement on Capitol Hill. Now that we've defined the factors involved in this ethical dilemma, let's investigate the major stakeholder opinions. The research community, which is responsible for creating GMOs and discovering novel combinations, argued that GMOs should be encouraged, especially seeing that we've done a less efficient way of creating GMOs for centuries in traditional breeding. Therefore, additionally, many studies exist that show how safe and beneficial GMOs are and can be. For the private sector, GMOs are a very thorny subject to the public perception and government regulation. Therefore, only big corporations can afford, both financially and socially, to produce GMOs. However, they tend to produce GMOs that have characteristics like pesticide or herbicide resistance, as those earn the most profit. Finally, the public. There is a large anti-GMO presence in society today, not due to the science, surprisingly. Instead, it's the alien perception of GMOs that hurt their public image. GMOs are not natural and therefore considered by many as bad. Additionally, anyone sitting on the fence on GMOs would like to have smaller businesses produce them instead of large ones because of the bad connotations big corporations have. However, as I mentioned before, this is very, very difficult to accomplish today. My conclusion on this ethical dilemma is that we should encourage GMO production and use. From a utilitarian perspective, they provide much more good than bad. For example, we can modify crops to survive the extreme weather conditions brought forward by global warming, improve nutrient yields of fruits and vegetables, creating more superfruits, and bring back extinct strains of crops. Additionally, we can do so much more. Really, the imagination is the limit when it comes to GMO synthesis and creation. What are your thoughts? Thank you for your time.